afternoon. 2020. What an appropriate year. 2020 is when you see things clearly. So let's pray that this year people start seeing things clearly. We need to see things clearly on the federal level, but most importantly, we have to see them clearly on the state level. Federal level goes over here, but your rights and your abilities to work, to live, to thrive are trampled just as quick and as easy on the state level, if not easier, because people don't pay attention. We get distracted by that stuff going on in the news, this is this, this is that. But you kind of, the state level, you ask somebody who their, most people who their state representative is, they're not gonna tell you. You ask them who their state senator is, they're not gonna tell you. They'll barely be able to tell you anything on state level. So as the state level candidates, we really have to be moving out and getting people aware of our existence and the importance of state level candidates. Now, in 2018, I ran for House District 22. Boy, you want to talk about red is all red can get. Not to mention my opponent being an associate pastor at First Baptist of Woodstock. So he's already got his base set up in the church as it is. So with that being said, move the needle 8 points from being unknown. When we went from 16% in 2016 to 24% overall in 2018, went to 39% in my 3 precincts in Forsyth County overall, with 1 victory at 52%. The change is coming and people are feeling it. Everybody's getting tired of that status quo. Everybody's getting tired of feeling like we're shouting into the wind and nobody's listening. So, for anybody that doesn't know me, Casey gave me enough of an introduction. Yes, I'm a member of the IBW Local 613, just like Rod, journeyman wireman, working out in the field right now. And I work all over the state, all over the country. So the things that I believe in and whatnot pretty much haven't changed. I still have the same stances that I did a couple years ago. Biggest things we need to work on: the Medicaid expansion, which also needs to lead to Medicaid for all. If you cannot be healthy, then how are you expected to be productive? It's this weird dynamic where people expect you to be productive, but don't want to do anything to help make sure that you stay healthy and you thrive. And even those that need the Medicaid or the Medicare, that helps those of us that do have insurance. Well, that's good for this immediate problem, but in the end, we need Medicare for all, period. So, minimum wage, abysmal, $5.15 an hour in the state of Georgia. Yes, each state dictates what their minimum wage is. Now, the federal government sets most of it, and yes, most of the people do fall under the $7.25 stipend that they get. But there are people in the state of Georgia that does apply to. Well, we can sit here and wait for another 10 years for the federal government to raise the minimum wage, or we can do it right here. So let's do it here. We don't have to wait for the federal government to tell us how much we have to pay somebody. And education. Yes. How do you expect the next generation to be able to even look after us if you don't educate them? If you don't do things to educate? Now it's a matter of, well, we're gonna do the standardized test. Okay, well, what does that do for people that don't wanna go to college, can't go to college, might not be available? Are you teaching trades? No. They're getting there because they're finally realizing that there's a severe shortage of people in skilled trades. In probably, less than 5 years now, just in my local, we're gonna lose 20% to retirement. Where are we gonna get that? Where are we gonna get people? So we need to start making education a more well-rounded prospect, trade, other vocations, actually getting people better guidance into what do you want to do, as well as here's how you're gonna get there. Well, we're not gonna get there if we keep treating the teachers like they're some overglorified babysitter. So you have to pay the teachers properly. You have to make sure that they feel like their job is actually meaningful. Now to them it is meaningful, but it's really hard to be meaningful when you're sitting there having to fork out hundreds of dollars just to take care of your own classroom. And that's absolutely shameful. So those are my biggest things. I do have others. Yes, I do believe in the decriminalization of all drugs. Decriminalization. Because the fact that you do drugs is not a criminal act. You can take that money and send it over for treatment. You can stop putting people in prison for the use of drugs and take away these private prisons because all they want is a customer. Well, by God, if they need a customer, then they're going to go to the government and make sure they have it. Women's rights, yeah. I can't have an abortion. Why should I tell somebody they can't? That's between them and their spouse and their doctors, whoever it is. That's their decision. It's not my decision. It's not my decision as a man to tell a woman what she's going to do with her body. That's what all of the white male Republicans down there decided to do, not only in Georgia, but Ohio and all these other states. Shameful. It's very simple things that we have to do just to live with each other. And it's not hard. It's just a mutual respect. So that's pretty much what I've got. Anybody got any questions? Sandy, go ahead.
I probably know the answer to this, but it's about home rule.
I'm sorry, I'm losing my hearing. What?
Home rule.
Okay.
State likes to tell some cities what they can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the examples is Canton was the first city in Georgia to ban the retail sales of cats and dogs in retail setting to offset the supply and demand of puppy mills.
Right.
The state wants to push through a bill to tell cities that they cannot determine the kinds of businesses within their limits. So I ask people, and pardon me ladies, I don't mean this to offend you, but so when somebody's asking me about this, I say, well, do you want a girly dance strip piercing joint in your neighborhood? And they say no. And so I say, well, so we regulate that. We have, attachments, but, not in my backyard, but yet you want us to say you can sell puppies and kittens or abuse. And then there's another bill going through the state about the cities not conditioning building projects on the use of building materials. Developers are driving this so that cities can't limit, and so we could have neighborhoods with vinyl siding, whereas in Canton, we require 50% brick or stone on industrial, commercial buildings and homes, I think concrete siding. So how are you on home rule?
So what's the point of having a municipality if you don't let them make their own decisions? And it's actually kind of interesting you brought that up. I was sitting in a coffee house in 2018 with the current representative of this area, and we were talking about I think the cities that they were trying to develop, and he's like, well, we don't tell counties what to do, we don't do all this. And yeah, you know who he is too. And
we all do.
Oh yeah. And so, but then I go and I'm like, okay, so then why are you making this? Why are you trying to pass this in the legislation? And why are you trying to do this? You are telling them what to do. There does have to be autonomy. If a city and a community wants to do something, they have that right and ability to do it. And there shouldn't be, unless it's grossly illegal, there shouldn't be any state interference with it. So yeah, that's where I stand on that.
Thank you.
We're a little short on time. Got one more question. One more question. Yeah.
You remind me. The environment.
You know, yeah. Good question. Yeah, I mean, the world is quite literally on fire. Yeah, it is very important that we do have to take the steps to, get us to a place where our kids and our grandkids will be able to live, cause that's about how much longer we got. So yeah, like, I am in favor of the Green New Deal. It is something we need to do. And other things like power generation, as much as I have made a lot of money in a coal burner, I want that thing gone. Not only is the most inefficient means to produce electricity, but it is the most nastiest way to do it. So yes, we definitely need to work on the environment. We need to do things even on the state level to get the environment back in order. Thank you.